تم فتح المنطقة وهي تحت السيطرة. تحركات الأعداء تتحرك. قوات الأعداء حول.
And welcome back to EGLN's coverage of the 30v30 action of BF2C versus Tactical Gamer. Got a couple announcements to make. The second round, we actually had a winner for the BF2C pass, as we announced previously. That was a Neo Freak getting a knife on the commander of the opposite team. And we also have a winner for the Z-board giveaway in the EGLN forums. So thank you to everyone who participated in that. The winner of the Z-board is Tard Seeker. If you can send me a PM, Tard Seeker, in the EGLN forums with all your contact information, I will go ahead and forward that on to the appropriate personnel. So guys, what do you think we ought to do for the third round here, for the first giveaway, or for the third giveaway rather, of the BF2C Combat Pass?
How about the first air kill?
Okay, first air kill or first air-to-air kill? Or does it matter?
First air-to-air sounds good, but even a stinger I would think would count.
Okay, what about you, G?
Yeah, I like that idea. Either first air-to-air kill or the first person who can take one of the cocky pilots, may I say, out the air.
So basically, every pilot's going to have a bullseye on their head. So the first person to kill a pilot, basically, we'll put it that way. First person to kill an aircraft gets a BF2C pass, correct?
Sounds good to me.
Let's give something back to the ground pounders.
Be interesting to see the deployment here, because previous videos I've seen have been heavily concentrated on that USMC UCB. Of course, there is a no UCB vehicle stealing rule for this game, so a lot of tactics are going to change because of that.
Yeah, for sure. Be decent to see, what happens here. I'm actually a pilot myself, so, I'm actually looking forward to seeing all the air battles.
Another assault map here as well, so no bleed once the first flag is taken. Something that a lot of people may not know is that that bridge-based flag is actually a no count flag. So even if the USMC do take it, bleed still doesn't stop. They need to take one of the other flags for that bleed to stop there.
Yeah, and while they actually do have the advantage of having, the mech has the advantage of having the most flags off the hop, and as well as the bleed, they do have the disadvantage that their main is uncappable. Now let me ask you about the rules on this. I believe I read that only the uncappable bases are off limits, correct?
That is correct.
So the mech main, all the equipment that spawns at the mech main is fair game.
That's right, the idea being that the UCB is a staging area for the attacking team, and the assault will need to take place from there.
Alright, I think we're ready whenever they're ready, correct? Is everyone squatted up on both sides here?
TG looks like they still have a few unassigned players. Nope, just us, so they're ready to go.
Alright, G, how are things looking over on the BF2C side?
I think their guys are just one over. BF2C needs to drop one at the moment, so give them 2 seconds.
And it looks like they are at 32 now.
Looks like the BF2C guys were anxious to win this third BF2 pass here and get the first AA kill. Okay, G, looks like the server has reset. Is this live?
That's a roger.
Okay, over on the mech side of things, we are going to have TG, so Bamando, why don't you go ahead and start calling the action. I'm going to follow one of the U.S. jets here to see if I can see the first air-to-air kill.
Roger that. Looks like there's a BF2C player on TG's side.
Yeah, it looks like BF2C saying that he is loading. Which means there would still be one over, correct? Oh,
correct.
There's a TG player on the BF2C side as well.
We've got guys asking for it not to go live while the teams are actually sorted out.
So, I know how some of the pilots are over at BF2C because I've seen them in other events that we've covered. Pilots like Pinocha and Elder, but what about the pilots from TG? Can you give us a little bit of background information about them?
For TG, we'll be having Dark Viper in the fighter and Snail in the bomber. Both very proficient in those roles. Got a lot of very good pilots at TG. Big difference being after seeing previous videos of BF2C is that they tend to let their pilots do their own thing. TG are very communicative from the ground. They do have a lot of ground requests that are passed on quickly by voice by the commander. So you'll see a lot of airstrikes and hopefully a lot of precision airstrikes from TG because they do a lot of spotting and a lot of calling for clustered areas from the commander. That is actually relayed as a waypoint to the jets, so the jets know exactly where they should be bombing when they come in.
And what do you expect, G, to see on the BF2C side of things from the pilots that are in here?
Well, I don't like to brag about that BF2C guys, but looks like Pinocha has entered the server, and he can be quite deadly in the air, so probably looking to see what he's going to do.
Speaking of who, they've just asked for another restart from BF2C while Pinocha comes in.